Yippee-ki-yo-ki-yay, gone are the days running and playing with Jimmy and Tom. Yippee-ki-yo-ki-yay, gone are the days living and being with Daddy and Mom. They have the old records of Hoppy and Gene. They've got that country feeling, you know what I mean. Yeah.
Hi, welcome. It Takes a Village. What's in Santa Barbara? Who's in Santa Barbara? What are our resources? And what's needed? We are very excited today. We've waited for a while to have a very special guest. And our guest today is Warren Butler. Hi, Warren.
Hi, Bonnie.
How are you doing?
Great. It's great to be here. Thank you.
Good, good. It's really delightful to have you. I have a few questions, and I'll just kind of ask you, and we'll see what's going on with you.
Sure.
Number one, what is the primary activity that you find yourself in?
Well, you know, being the experience I have in hospitality, my main activity is helping people find spaces and helping them develop events and businesses that have to do with hospitality.
Well, tell me some of the history. What are some of the events that you've enjoyed helping people with?
Well, I do a lot of things with nonprofits, and I do a lot of things with companies too that want to celebrate holiday parties or birthday parties. The greatest satisfaction I get is from helping people with their weddings and their quinceañeras and sweet 16s, because people just go all out for those things, and when you do a great job, they just they just appreciate it so much. But I'm very involved in nonprofits. I actually just did an event with the American Cancer Society, that with the Riviera Ball, and that was so touching because at the end, the next day or a couple days later, I got an email from the mom of one of the honorees that we gave an award to. And her mom said it was such a great event, and her daughter had said at dinner the night before that it was the greatest night of her life.
How special.
Yeah.
That's really, really neat.
Yeah.
I know, I think of you sometimes when I drive by the building that used to be the Sizzler, and I look out and I say Butler Event Center.
Right.
So that's another place you're involved with.
Yeah, well, I have event centers. My goal is that people could contact me if they need an event for any type of thing, meetings and whatnot. But I take spots that aren't that are sitting there that aren't being utilized for whatever reason, and I fix them up and I utilize them for community use in order to have all these great events. But the Sizzler, the old Sizzler is the new Butler Event Center. We had to move the original.
Special place.
Yeah, we had to move the original one because now they're doing a bunch of construction at the original Butler Event Center that was next to the Sandman.
Right, I think they blew it up almost.
Yeah, they knocked it all down. So now we moved that up, and the Sizzler is so exciting, that location. And there's a beautiful patio out there with the oldest tree.
That huge tree, I love it. I love it.
Yeah,
and there's parking. That
there's
is
lots
amazing.
of parking, and it's such a big space, and it's being utilized now not only for some of the events we said, but we have church groups that utilize it. We have Wednesday nights we have country western.
Really?
Thursday night we have salsa. So it really is a place where the community can come in and utilize it to have all sorts of activities.
Really fun. Yeah. I bet you meet a lot of people.
I do, fortunate, but that's what I enjoy all about it. I enjoy, meeting people in the community.
But it's kind of my understanding, I don't know exactly all what you're up to, but it sounds like you help people with advertising or their business organization, or you kind of go quite beyond just giving them a space.
Sure. Well, that's the goal. The goal is to be able to be a resource where people can contact me, and obviously one of the biggest things is they need the venue, but then they also need other things to help make it happen. They'll need, who's the best caterer in town, who's the best DJ, who's, sometimes they want photo booths. I mean, there's just so many. And then they want to market it. They want to make sure it has, good attendance and so on and so forth. But then I also go further than, I'm involved in, in marketing and consulting with businesses to help them, maximize their potential, whether it be a restaurant or whether it be.
That's fantastic to have, that really outer view of someone who's really experienced, especially with the local community. That's really special.
Yeah, well, I've been fortunate. I've traveled around the country opening and developing restaurants and nightclubs, so it's good to be able to put that to use. And if I told you about all the things I do, you say, well, geez, you know, you don't seem that old.
What don't you do?
You would just say, wait, this guy doesn't seem that old, but I've been fortunate to have been able to travel around and do a lot of fun,
Neat.
great things.
That's fun. Wow. Let's see, I think another thing you're involved in that I know about is that you are on the board for TVSB,
That's
Channel 17 and 72,
Right,
public
right.
access.
Yeah, no, it's exciting. You know, I got into that, and I've always been involved, you know, to a certain extent, but then recently I was involved as the executive producer of What's Cooking with Arthur von Wiesenberger, which is a show on Channel 3.
Wow.
You know, and, you know, as I started getting involved, I said, I need to learn more. I need to learn more about, you know, TV, and I had a lot of friends that were involved with TVSB, and I said this would be a great opportunity. You know, I go to a bunch of the shows. I go to the Scott Topper show. I go to the Ken Boxer show all the time. And I'm like, you know, I want to learn more about, you know, what this is all about, and what a great, you know, opportunity for people to be able to, you know, locally to have, you know, that
It's an incredible resource, absolutely incredible, and I've just been astonished at how helpful they are, how pleasant.
Oh, yeah.
There's Matt, the director.
He's fantastic.
Mark will help you with absolutely anything. You know,
Yeah.
Oscar and JP, really, really friendly, helpful place. And I don't know, I wished more people knew about it.
Yeah.
Because I think the whole idea of free press, free communication is really, really important. You know,
Especially in this day and age.
yeah. Now it's like vital.
Well, they say that, you know, the major networks, major television is controlled by, you know, a certain small percent, so it's very important for the people to have the opportunity, a voice.
Right,
and,
right.
You know, the TVSB does that, and you're a great example of that too.
Thank
I mean, you have a great show, and it gives people the opportunity. So now that I'm on here, we're going to really, you know, we're going to have
you're going to help me organize.
It's going to be all over.
Good luck. Well, it is true to let people know what goes on and what resources, and really Santa Barbara is fabulous. It really has a lot of things. It's hard to know everything and everybody that's going on with it. But I also know that for TVSB, I think they have like summer camps, maybe beyond summer, where much younger people are learning.
Sure.
And I know they have lots of classes you can take on camera, on setting, on presentation. And so it's a resource in itself, for sure.
Well, that's the idea, is to team up more with the, you know, the colleges and the schools, like you're saying, and the boys and girls clubs, and really get people to, you know, utilize and, you know, and realize that, you know, you can learn, and you do have access, and you can be on TV.
Right,
It's not, you know,
right.
and when
It's
people
not
see you
out
on
of the
TV,
question.
people must go, wow. You know, when people see me now, they're going to go, Warren, I saw you on TV.
That's right.
You must be a star.
That's
I go,
right.
no, I was just fortunate enough to be on this,
Yeah,
you know,
it's
to be a
great.
friend of Bonnie's and get invited to her
I
show.
know,
And
thank
here I am,
goodness.
now I'm on TV.
Yay, yay. That's fabulous. I mean, I've even walked in, they have a lab with all kinds of computers there, and there's someone that looks 13 years old that's sitting there editing a program, like with Final Draft edit program. I'm like, this is just amazing what, you know, people are doing. It's very exciting.
Yeah, and there's a lot of great shows too on the show.
Yeah.
I'm learning more and more about it every day.
Tell me, Warren, when did you come to Santa Barbara?
Well, you know, it's funny. My first experience was, you know, it was with a restaurant group, Morton Steakhouse, and I came up here as a guest, and I stayed at the Biltmore for 10 days.
Wow.
And, you know, at that point I said, I love Santa Barbara.
This is kind of a nice place.
And I remember being out in the ocean on a boat, you know, with one of the corporate executives that was in charge of real estate, and I said, you know, Santa Barbara would be a great place for a restaurant. I said, I know the guy that, you know, would run it. And he said, well, you know, I don't think they're ready for Morton's right now, but it's funny that 5 years later, you know, I was able to get the opportunity to come up here and work. I actually opened up Stateside Restaurant Lounge, which is the old Acapulco spot.
Oh, neat. What an area.
Yeah, so I was brought up to be the minority owner, managing partner of that, and it was fun. It was, I mean, at times that was a real hotspot, and one of the busiest places in town.
Doesn't it have a fountain?
That's right, it has a fountain with a bunch of turtles.
Right, I wasn't going to say it, but that's what I was thinking
wonderful
about.
Place, La Cata. I mean, great place to hang out and do anything. But like anything in Santa Barbara, it's not easy. It's, you know, everything's a challenge. especially in the restaurant business. So.
Well, probably the rents are a little bit difficult, I would think.
Yeah, and that was
I
such a
don't
big
know the
space.
business.
Yeah.
You do.
No, you're right. But that was, and it was such a big space too. So you're usually paying by the foot, and that was
Yeah.
about 13,000 square feet. So
Wow.
you can imagine. But the people at Lock Auto were wonderful to work with. It just was too big of a enterprise for Santa Barbara. 13,000 square feet worth of restaurant.
Yeah.
It's just was too much. But it got me up here, and I had a lot of fun.
Fabulous.
Had a lot of musicians. It was
Yeah.
actually a restaurant lounge and music venue, so
Wow.
it was a very enjoyable
Yeah,
experience.
yeah,
But that's what first got me up
yeah.
here.
It's fun to go out in the harbor too, that's for sure. How nice.
Yeah.
Biltmore,
Yeah, that was a
goodness.
nice trip. Yeah.
Let's see. I'm asking you, what are some of your thoughts about Santa Barbara, or what were your first impressions? You've told me about the Biltmore.
Yeah, I mean, just the whole, hospitality. I mean, the beauty of it all, the resources. I mean, you got the mountains on one side, you got the ocean. We take a lot of it for granted, but it's such a beautiful. It's like this tiny little bubble.
Yeah.
This oyster in between, L.A. and San Francisco, and you're wondering how could it be that, but it's because that Santa Barbara and the community has worked so hard to keep it.
Right,
the way it
right.
is. So you really feel like coming from the outside. Being in a lot of cities, as I've traveled, I came to realize this was a good place to settle down a little bit.
You're right, right.
So, and it just, and you still have a lot of the great things that you see in a lot of the cities, like, the museums,
Right.
like the
Natural
Barrel,
history,
natural history, the
Art
Granada.
Museum.
Exactly. You still have these great
I love the Fox
things.
Arlington.
Yeah, but you don't have to park, a mile away. You can park,
Right, right.
close by. So it's really was a perfect place for me to settle down a little bit.
Yeah, yeah, that's so nice. I think there's a sense of caring here that goes back to Pearl Chase and the aesthetics that she cared about. And I can't remember his name. A park is named on the river era after him. But the arborist in the history of this town, a lot of planting of trees.
Oh, yeah.
And it matters.
It does.
It's really, really beautiful.
Yeah.
We're not perfect, that's for sure. There's some history that isn't exactly fair, and things still need to be worked on. Let's see.
I always say if you can't be happy in Santa Barbara, you can't.
You have a challenge.
But it is a challenge. It is challenging in other ways. Economically, it's a challenge because you don't really have. There's certain things you need to be successful in business.
Absolutely.
And one of them is you need a little. You kind of need growth. You need density. You need. You need a lot of. People, and we kind of. We don't want too many more people. So that it makes it all challenging. But I think working together, everybody, we can kind of create with this opportunity. And the biggest thing for me, opportunity, it'd be great to have your kids when they graduate be able to stay here and be able to afford to be here and get good jobs.
Right.
So I think that's very important because I know where I'm from. We haven't spoken about this, but I'm from Boston. If people couldn't tell by my accent, but there's tradition there because there's generations and generations of people.
Right.
And people don't have to leave. How many kids, how many families their kids have to leave town to go get, great opportunity, great job.
Buy a house.
Yeah, buy a house and be able to afford to live here. So I think we have to continue to work on that because I think that's what, I know where I'm from, that's what made Boston, Boston.
Yeah.
And I think that would help, there are some people that have been around forever, but those are the exceptions, the families. There's a lot of new people and a lot of families that can't, continue to grow here because they can't, find affordable housing or great jobs. So I think we need to continue.
And the other thing is, every student at UCSB is not wealthy, is not a trust fund baby, is struggling, and when they come in, they have first, last deposit, possibly a pet deposit. And it's very, very difficult, and I think, that's something really to be considered and to really care for others, to sort of think that there is a lot of your brother's keeper here, but it can keep going as far as rentals, that's for sure.
Well, they need to find more places where kids can stay. Kids don't need a big house. Kids
Right.
only need a place
Bedroom.
to sleep. And they want to be out. They want to be out, enjoying all the natural resources.
Right.
They want to be out.
When they're not studying, of course.
Of course, yeah. But even once they graduate, they want to hike. They want to bike. They want
Absolutely.
They want to spend time in restaurants. And, that's what kids do in bars when you're young.
Yeah.
You don't need a big house to sit back and go, oh, this is my big beautiful house. That's not important to them. So I think more and more we got to find places, lofts, that sort of stuff where kids can, grow and and stay here.
Right. You know, there was a person running for state assembly. His name was Ed Fuller, and he talked about, I don't completely understand it, he sure did, about a state mandate for the city of Santa Barbara about how many people they were supposed to absorb for a year or something. And I found that really strange, and his point of view was, listen, the people of Santa Barbara should be making that decision, not the state assembly telling us we need this many people. And I thought that was fascinating because I just never heard of that before, about someone else controlling us.
Well, I was part of that in Boston when the federal government mandated busing. So sometimes, you know, the federal government, the state government, you know, do things what they feel is essential and necessary for a city to do. So,
Right.
you know, you don't necessarily agree with it all the time, but you know, that's what they do. And gone through that in Boston with busing. That was, I'm not sure if you ever knew that history.
Not that
But what
much.
they did was they used to have all these different neighborhoods,
Yeah.
and they forced people to be bused from one to the other to go to school.
Wow.
And what it does is, in the end, they wanted to get rid of
Integration.
the integration. So it made sense, you know, because you know when you're there though, you're like, oh, why would you want my kid bused on the other side of town to a neighborhood that you know they don't know anybody, you know? And it happened. I don't want to give away my age, but it happened during the bicentennial, and it threw the city into a lot of chaos, which was unfortunate because that was a time where people wanted to celebrate, you know, so on and so forth.
Yeah.
But anyway.
Wow. Well, tell me, were there any decisions that you made around the age of 14 that led toward a constructive path for you? That you may not have anything that happened, but what I have found with a lot of people is just around that age, either a mentor came into their life or they made some kind of decision and they went to Europe, whatever they did, that sort of helped the course of the future of their life.
Well, I think, you know, probably around that time particularly, my parents were going through a divorce, so I ended up, you know, living with my father for a while and then living with my mom. And when I got to live with my mom, I got to do a lot more than I could do, you know, and originally my dad didn't like sports.
Mm-hmm.
So I was able to get more into sports at that time, and I learned so much, you know, from playing football and basketball and baseball, and I really believed that. Yeah, and I was, you know, successful at it. I was fast, and they said I was fast and had good hands. So,
oh, good. Always important.
Yeah, very, especially in football. But what it did, it really showed me working as a team.
Yes.
You know what you could accomplish.
Yes.
And you know, discipline. So I really enjoyed that, and really got the whole teamwork approach to making things happen. We all have a role.
Together toward a goal.
Yeah, and winning and having fun and just that camaraderie.
Yeah.
Right? I think it's important for everybody. But at that age, that was something that was interesting because I started to play, you know, sports a lot more and enjoy it.
Yeah, the social skills that go along with that are fascinating.
Sure. Yeah.
And then every once in a while, you'll get a coach who's just a prince, you know. Really helpful to the people.
Oh, coaches are, I mean, they're so impactful in kids, it's amazing. You know, whatever and they're all different, but they all make, you know, an impact. But you're making me think back to some of the coaches I had, and I can still remember them.
Yeah.
Pushing me along and
encouragement, yay.
Exactly, motivational. And,
I hear that sometimes about the Boy Scouts too. You know, the organizations that throw people together and have a kind of common goal and how they sort things out. You just learn so much. It's
you learn so much,
really
and you're able to accomplish
fantastic.
more than you can expect. Not only yourself, but as a team, you can accomplish a lot more.
Right.
But even individually, you grow because you don't want to let the team down and your peers and so on and so forth. Yeah, it's important. I think nowadays the kids get so involved with individual sports and individual things like technic and you know the computers and so on and so forth. They're not out there engaging as much, and I think that for me it was a big benefit. That's why I'm have so much fun in the hospitality business. Right. I'm so used to dealing with
That's
people
true. When you're at an early age involved in that, I think there's kind of like people that like people and people that aren't so enthusiastic about it. And I think when you're thrown together at a young age, you can really have great fun and kind of feel that way toward people.
It brings it out of you. I know, people don't believe this, but I'm very shy.
Oh yes, you're very
guy.
Warren, you're so shy.
But
you just got to work on this.
But it brought it out in me, and I became more, extroverted.
You could talk to other people.
Right?
Yes. That's great.
Having fun with it.
Yeah. Are there any physical locations in Santa Barbara that are particularly
I
significant?
love going down to Stearns Wharf.
Yeah.
I love going, obviously, to the harbor. You know, it's so funny. You know, I remember one time being invited to something, and I was just blown away. When I got there, you know, I had been invited to do an event, and then it was an event to celebrate the event. So I'm like, oh, I really got to go to this thing, and I actually went. I was like, oh my God. So now when people invite me to things, I go. Because you just never know.
Yeah, what fun can be had.
Yeah, because there's so many great places to go here in Santa Barbara, so many great properties. So now if I get invited, I'm going to go, even if I just go for a half hour.
Yeah.
But this particular thing was actually the Dreyer Museum,
Wow.
which are, you know, wonderful friends of mine, you know, Chad and Jeannie Dreyer. And it was the most wonderful experience. And I, you know, and I'm like, and I almost didn't go, you know, but so you just never know. There's just so many great places that, you know, people here, you know, or you know, from all over the world come here to settle down, and you know, with that, they just have great, you know, places. They have great things to, you know, to show people. But it's some of the natural resources that, you know, are the best things that, you know, you go to, and the historic things, and it's an abundance. I mean, I could go on and on and on.
It is an abundance. It's, you know, the harbor, Painted Cave, and one thing I love is you can take the trolley any place on State Street, just get on it and stay on it for a long time, and you see all these things. And I love the Natural History Museum. And
fantastic.
On
Great people that run these things at the
Right.
Maritime Museum. And you know, it's funny, you can bike. I never forget when I first came here, I took my bike all the way up State Street, and I hadn't biked for a while, so I was kind of exhausted. And I'm like, how am I going to get back? You know, I took it all the way up to, you know, Lacombe from Stateside, you know, from La Cata. And I got up there and I said, how am I going to get back? And all of a sudden I saw this bus go by, and it had this bike rack, you know, on the bus.
Yeah.
And it was the funniest thing. I was like, well, let me check this out. The bus driver pulled over. He helped me put the bike on the front of the bus. I got on the bus, took the bus all the way back down. I got back, and all of a sudden I saw a bunch of friends. They said, how you doing? I said, I'm doing great, you know. And I had so much energy, and I felt like I cheated or something, because I, you know, rather than going all the way up and all the way back.
Right.
But you know, you can bike around and then get, you know, utilize the bus, you know, the buses too to get
It's
with your
amazing.
bike.
Really accommodating.
It was what a great experience. I haven't done it much since because I've been so busy. But
Well, I know. But there are things like there's a tour of a what's that shark boat kind of bus, and it goes on the land, and then it'll go into the water.
What is that called? The shark?
I forget the name of it, but it looks so neat.
Oh yeah.
And then of course there's tours in the harbor that are really fabulous. And there's even, I think, the Sunset Kid, a smaller little boat that you can.
Yeah, Dennis, a friend of mine, owns that. Yeah, he does.
Right. There's so many things you can do.
It's amazing. When I first came here with Morton's, I mean, we did so many activities. Like I told you, we went out on the boat, but we did I actually, that 10 days, I did more than I actually see now. I mean, we can still, you know, I still see it going on, but I'm not, you know, I don't have 10 days where I have nothing to do, unfortunately. But there's so many activities that you can do. You know,
Right. Well, you know, that's really special too, because with your attitude about learning about new places, that really goes to help your clients, because they have a much more informed person that they're dealing with. And that's really, really beautiful. Let's see. If you had an extra $1 million extra, what would you donate it to in Santa Barbara?
You know, it's funny. I always think about winning the lottery. So
That's funny. I kind of think about that too.
Not about a loan. You know, and I would create a foundation. You know, that I would just be involved in all sorts of charitable. You know, and there's so many great organizations here in town. I probably couldn't pick one in particular. You know, I would probably, you know, pick some of the ones that I'm involved with now, like the Teddy Bear Foundation and the American Cancer Society. But another big thing that, you know, a lot of people donate money towards, you know, medical, and they donate, you know, towards education. But a lot of people, you know, it's funny, I'm involved with the Unity Shop.
I was just going to say that.
And that's such a fantastic, you know, organization. And they don't get a lot of money because people don't necessarily, it's not sexy to donate money to, you know, poor people, you know, people that need, and it's just not poor people, it's people that just in a tough time. I know when they had fires, you know, the Unity Trinity was very helpful with people that lost their homes and just needed a place to, stay and then, you know, eat. But they do it and give the people, you know, so much pride and dignity the way they go about it. It's really anybody.
That's what I've heard over and over again,
Yeah.
that they're incredibly wonderful.
Oh yeah, they just, I mean, you know, they help people, but they don't do it in a way, they do it in a way that people can still feel good about it, not only
Not
for
demeaned.
themselves, but
Yeah.
for their families. Oh yeah, no, and they shouldn't, because again, they do so much to help people overall. When everybody's in a challenging, you know, situation,
Right.
they're there. And,
Right.
and again, a great organization of people,
Mm-hmm.
and I've been involved with them. I actually just, it was at the telethon last night.
Oh, neat.
So yeah.
Good
know,
for
with
you.
Tom Reed and,
Wow.
yeah.
That's incredible. Let's see. I know there's a lot of places one could donate, that's for sure. Is there anything that I haven't asked you that you want to tell me about your activities or anything else? We're getting down to the wire here on our program.
Right.
And boy, I've learned a lot about you and I appreciate it.
Well, thank you.
You know,
Yeah.
you're a real resource for Santa Barbara, that's for
That's
sure.
nice. Well, you know, we met, you know, in the hospitality. We met at the restaurant, you know.
Marmalade,
Yeah, in the
right.
Marmalade. No, I just, you know, my goal is to, you know, continue to help and be more successful in helping other people become, you know, be successful here in town. And I believe it is challenging. So I want people to, you know, utilize me as a resource, and not only to help them tangibly get a, you know, location, but also, you know, sit down and I can find them all sorts of things that can help their event or their business succeed. So.
Yeah. Well, it's really nice. You would certainly be a pleasant person to work with, that's for sure, Warren.
Well, thank you.
And I guess we need to think that Santa Barbara is wealthy. It has a lot of resources. But the other thing we need to think about is every night in Santa Barbara, children go to sleep hungry. It's our village. We don't want that to happen. Thank you. Hi, I'm Bonnie from It Takes a Village. We're here on Ortega and Santa Barbara Street. What have we discovered? It's a Steve Nipper company. Let's go in and check it out. Hi, Steve. How are you?
Hi, Bonnie. I'm great. Thanks for stopping in today.
All right. What's going on around here?
Well, we're here at Soul Wave, where we make people's water better.
All right. And I'll say that you have a pretty good reputation in this town. How did you earn that?
Well, with 23 years of service to the community and doing a good job and standing behind what we do, that's what we've earned.
That's what I've heard.
Yeah. And I just want to thank you, Bonnie, for helping us support It Takes a Village. We couldn't be happier.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Take care. And so we learned more about Santa Barbara. We have a company that helps the economy of people because of their prices, and they help your good health with good water. Very, very important. Thank you, Steve Nipper at Soul Wave.
Hi, I'm Chris Jensen from Jen's Guitar and Music Company, and I'm proud to sponsor It Takes a Village. And just so you know where we are, here's my card.
And being with Daddy and Mom. They have your records of Hoppy and Gene. They've got that country feeling